Stephan of Byzantium, also known as Stephanus Byzantinus, was the author of an important geographical dictionary entitled Ethnica. Of the dictionary itself only meagre fragments survive, but we possess an epitome compiled by one Hermolaus, not otherwise identified. Nothing is known about the life of Stephanus, except that he was a grammarian at Constantinople, and lived after the time of Arcadius and Honorius, and before that of Justinian II. Later writers provide no information about him, but they add a note that the work was later reduced to an epitome by a certain Hermolaus, who dedicated his epitome to Justinian. Whether the first or second emperor of that name is meant is disputed, but it seems probable that Stephanus flourished in Byzantium in the earlier part of the 6th century AD, under Justinian I. The Ethnica. Even as an epitome, the Ethnica is of enormous value for geographical, mythological, and religious information about ancient Greece. Nearly every article in the epitome contains a reference to some ancient writer as an authority for the name of the place. For the surviving fragments, we see that the original contained considerable quotations from ancient authors, besides many interesting particulars, topographical, historical, mythological, and others. Stephanus cites Artemidorus, Polybius, Aelius, Herodianus, Herodotus, Thucydides, Xenophon, Strabo, and other writers. The chief fragments remaining of the original work are preserved by Constantine Porphyrogenitos de Administrando Imperio, ch. 23, and Thematabis e. 10. The latter includes a passage from the comic poet Alexis on the 7 largest islands. Another respectable fragment from the article Delta Upsilon Mu Eta to the end of Delta exists in a manuscript of the Fons Coislin, the library formed by Pierre Séguier. The first modern printed edition of the work was that published by the Aldine Press in Venice, 1502. The complete standard edition is still that of Augustus Meinecker, and by convention, references to the Textus Meinecker's page numbers. A new completely revised edition in German is in preparation, however, edited by B. Wisp, C. Zubler, M. Billerbeck, J. F. Gärtner, 2006 onwards, with 2 volumes already published. Editions. Aldus Manutius, 1502, Sigma Tau Epsilon Phi Alpha Nu Omicron Sigma, Pi Epsilon Rho Pi Omicron Lambda Epsilon Omega Nu equals Stephanus de Urbibus. Google Books. Guillermus Cylinder, 1568, Sigma Tau Epsilon Phi Alpha Nu Omicron Sigma, Pi Epsilon Rho Pi Omicron Lambda Epsilon Omega Nu equals Stephanus de Urbibus. Thomas de Pinedo, 1678, Sigma Tau Epsilon Phi Alpha Nu Omicron Sigma, Pi Epsilon Rho Pi Omicron Lambda Epsilon Omega Nu equals Stephanus de Urbibus. Contains parallel Latin translation. Google Books. Claudius Salmasius and Abraham van Berkel, 1688, Sigma Tau Epsilon Phi Alpha Nu Omicron Upsilon Beta Upsilon Zeta Alpha Nu Tau Iota Omicron Upsilon Theta Nu Iota Kappa Kappa Alpha Tau Pi Iota Tau Omicron Mu Eta Nu Pi Epsilon Rho Pi Omicron Lambda Epsilon Omega Nu equals Stephani Byzantini Gentilia per Epitomen, Anti-Hag de Urbibus Inscripta, contains parallel Latin translation. Google Books. Lucas Holstinius, 1692, Note and Amp, Castigations in Stephanem Byzantium de Urbibus. Google Books. Thomas de Pinedo, 1725, Stephanus de Urbibus. Google Books. Carl Wilhelm Dindorf, 1825, Stephanus Byzantinus. Opera, 4 vols. Incorporating notes by L. Holstinius, A. Berkelius, and T. de Pinedo. Google Books. Anton Westermann, 1839, Stephani Byzantii Ethnicon Supersund.
Google Books. Augustus Meinecker, 1849. Stephani Byzantii Ethnicorum quae supersund. Google Books. Margherita Bilibecche al. Stephani Byzantii Ethnica. 5 volumes. 2006 to 2015. Forthcoming. Berlin, New York. Walter de Gruyter.